Welcome in, all you O9ers, PCHers, Neptune Pirates, Junior Private Detectives, Xena Warrior Princesses, and Adios, Duncan. And welcome in to Life on Mars, the Veronica Mars Rewatch Podcast, where we go through episode by episode. I'm Brenton.
And I'm Emily. Sayonara, Duncan.
Adios, happy trails, and I can't fit the title into a pun. It is Season 2, Episode 11, Donut Run.
And it is Bye Bye Donkey episode.
It is.
Though, I'm pretty sure we get one more scene of him later.
Yes.
Because we didn't get the scene of like where he ends up.
No. Yeah, so...
we get closure for Duncan, but not for Veronica.
Mm-hmm. So this is Teddy Dunn's final appearance as a full-time cast member, and we get one more cameo from him later in the season.
And then he went on to become a lawyer.
Exactly, and did a few more things tested it out for another couple of years, and then said, "Fuck this! I'm opening a law practice."
Isn't that wild?
Mm-hmm. He covers like slip and falls and chases ambulances. No, I'm sure he's a very upstanding legal professional. But yeah, so behind that, he was not rated highly amongst fans at the time in terms of like relationship compatibility kind of thing.
Well, I mean, Season 1 was all about how unreliable Duncan is.
Yeah.
You can't then turn an unreliable character like that into, like a good boy character like that, into like sex appeal. It doesn't
Right.
work.
Uh-huh.
And I think he'd be better if the whole Meg twist hadn't happened.
Yeah, dating Meg.
Well, not even dating Meg, that's fine, but like the Meg pregnancy, Meg, like how long that went on. Like if it had just been he dated Meg and then she broke up with him in front of that car that day, he wasn't over Veronica and that was the end, and it's like, would have been fine. But why did we have to kill off Meg? Totally.
And it was all for someone, a character, that Rob Thomas said he wasn't going to bring back into Season 2, but then did, even though he was knowing he was going to write him off the show. And Teddy Dunn also noted that too.
Oh, good. So he came in knowing he was going to be written off.
Yeah, he said he was surprised that he was being brought back, and that he was happy that he got to do as much as he did, pretty much.
Because there's no there was no chemistry in those characters.
Yeah, and it seems like a big goal waste of Meg.
Who was actually like a cool female character.
Mm-hmm. To sideline her and then kill her off screen. But what did you think of the episode? I know you were excited going in.
It delivered in all the places I thought it did.
Mm-hmm.
I forgot how annoying it was to watch this episode when you don't know what's going to happen. But like, I highly recommend, if you've watched it and that was your first time, watch it again. It'll be so much funnier.
Yeah, totally.
Because the whole time you're trying to put together the puzzle, and then once you see, you're like, oh, okay, like these are the pieces. Now you can be like, oh, what?
Right, because it really does drop you in the middle, because you don't see any. That doesn't ever show you any of the planning, like the back end. It's just, it gives you those things and like of like part of their plan of like the breakup and things like that, and then it's like, oh no, they had like planned contingency plan for all of this.
Yes. It was quite interesting. But also, he has money. Why couldn't he just adopt his own child?
Yeah, I don't know. That part seems funny to me.
Because the mental stability thing, but like, couldn't if it mattered that much to him, couldn't his parents adopt it? Like, there's got to be like her.
Right.
The child.
The child. So it was his, and he's an adult legally, right? He's 18.
Yes, but I think what Megan mentioned was they were looking into Duncan's like mental state to try to prevent him from getting custody.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah. Okay, that makes more sense.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, it's just like, why doesn't he just have custody already?
Yeah, it's his kid.
My boy.
Well, his girl.
My child.
Yes. Lily.
Yes. Yeah, Lily Kane. I thought about this afterwards.
What's your middle name? Do you think it's Veronica?
Oh God, probably. No, it's probably Gem.
Gem.
Meg spelled backwards.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Enoch Gem.
Oh, God.
That's his password.
Yeah. Well, who set that up? Veronica.
Right. um, very good. And so this episode was also Rob Thomas's first directing credit.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, he had written multiple episodes before, but this is his first professional directing credit. And according to him, this is great. It could not have made any less sense for me to direct an episode right smack in the middle of the season. And it about killed me. For a month there, I was doing 2 jobs, and they're both very full-time, directing an episode and still running the show and looking at cuts of the show, looking at scripts, doing casting. All of that had to keep going while I was directing, and it was really, really difficult.
Yeah, why would you do that?
Uh-huh, yeah.
But, I get it. You
Yes.
want to say goodbye to Teddy yourself.
Exactly. He owed it to him. But I was very happy that Xena was in this episode. Lucy Lawless.
Yes, I forgot about that.
Mm-hmm. Great in genre TV. She was great in... Oh, God. I completely forgot about this show until I was thinking about it. Like, I caught Xena sometimes because it was always on middle of the day, say, like, 6 or something. Like, not middle of the day, but, like, 3 o'clock, like, sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
But I know her mainly from the Spartacus show that was on, like, Showtime.
Interesting.
Yeah. It was just like the most pulpy. It was like we had Rome, which was like, Game of Thrones, but set in Roman times. And then where it's like political maneuverings in the fall of Rome. And then they did Spartacus, where it's just like, we're just going to up the TNA to 11. And it's just going to be like ripped buff men and homoeroticism beating each other up, and then like naked women.
I'm going to just... I missed all of this.
Yeah.
I was at dance class.
So I watched this in college.
Oh, I was busy.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I was. Had a lot of downtime.
I was doing things,
Yeah, I think this was freshman year too. So like I especially didn't have anything to do because I didn't have a part-time job during that time. And then I wised up. I was also like had that winter quarter where like I had an existential crisis, so I'm just like spinning out like.
So you watched Spartacus?
Yeah, pretty much, and Entourage.
Oh God, you were really in a dark space.
Yeah, yes. Watched 7. I think there were 7 seasons at that time of Entourage.
And I thought it was bad that during COVID, I was like, you know what? It's finally time to watch Lord of the Rings.
No. There are depths here. You could be watching Vinny and the gang try and figure out how he can stay in the Aquaman movie.
I can't with that. That's an awful show. It's got to be bad.
It is. It
it's
is awful.
Bad, right?
Yeah, totally.
I'm going to go out on a limb.
Bros being bros, and there's like nothing that happens of consequence.
I have never watched Entourage, and I have no plans to.
Yeah.
Similar to Spartacus and
yeah,
Rome.
No need to watch Spartacus. I think Rome was supposed to be good for the first season.
Oh. Well, maybe we'll give that one a go,
Yeah, potentially. It's HBO.
Well, if it's on HBO.
Exactly. It's not TV. It's the home box office network.
Yes, exactly. Where you can see more boobs and butts.
Yeah. Real quick before we jump in the episode, just on HBO, that's where my friend's dad used to record all their movies that they would have. He would like tape them. Like back in the day, so he had the old HBO because they would just show movies all the time, and so half the time they were like recorded off of HBO, and they had like all his times. It's like, oh, you want to watch The Jerk, and it'd pull off The Jerk, and it'd be like a label on a tape that he like taped from like HBO. So that's why I saw the majority of my movies at that house.
That's so funny. That's such a good idea.
Yeah, it's like, oh my God, why are you paying for anything? Except if they didn't show the movie.
Yeah. Huh. Well. We just watched Disney Channel movies and then whatever we felt like renting from the Blockbuster.
Yeah, same.
Or the, what's the other one? It's Blockbuster and there was another.
Hollywood Video?
Thank you. I feel like we went to Hollywood Video more than Blockbuster. I feel like they had better candy and that's why.
Gotcha.
That seems like a choice we would have made in my household.
I think we did sometimes too, but then when we moved, where the Smash Burger was, R.I.P.
Thank you, Phyllis.
My friend's mom left a scathing review and single-handedly took it down.
So we believe.
Yeah.
Allegedly.
There used to be a Blockbuster there.
Did she take that one out too?
No, that was just time.
Well, she seems like an enigma, so.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, no, we were. I think we went to Hollywood Video a lot because they had Raisinets, and those were my favorite candies. I don't know why we didn't just fucking buy them at a grocery store, but it's an experience thing. You've met my family,
right?
Weird crew. We
got to get the bigger candies
and the ambiance
and cheaper.
Yeah, it's like it's an adventure.
Mm-hmm.
But don't worry, we always snuck our candy into the movie theater.
Oh, exactly. It's just a cultural thing I will never understand.
Okay,
we'll go by the store and then we'll go into the movie theater. And I understand it's like $3 less, but still.
My auntie always had the best snacks. Like, you always wanted to go to the movies with my aunt, and she would pull, like, you'd literally be in the theater and she'd pull out like 3 boxes of Red Vines, and like she could have like ran a snack bar in the theater. The only thing we bought there was popcorn, but the chocolates and the Red Vines, Raisinets, all those fun things, she had them.
I don't doubt it.
One time, she also snuck in kettle corn because I was on a kettle corn kick and I didn't want the regular popcorn, so I had a popped bag of kettle corn in her purse.
Way to go. MVP.
Yep, she's the best aunt. I used to always say that if I had to be stranded on a deserted island with someone, it would be my aunt because she always had snacks in her purse.
They're really smart. Really smart.
But speaking of being stranded, we start this episode with Veronica being stranded in an elevator with Logan.
Yes. Going up
to their room.
Right. Their cohabitation.
And Logan and Veronica walk in, and
well, first we think that sorry. I might have stepped on it. Were you talking about in the elevator?
No, go ahead.
Were you saying walking into the room?
Walking into the room.
Okay, cool. In the elevator, we think that Logan baited Veronica out into giving information that Duncan has a child that he's caring for in the wake of Meg. Because he's like goading her back and forth, and then Mike mentions something passing about like Meg, and it's like, well, maybe he's a little busy taking care of his child, and he's like, oh, a child.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's like, there's a child in the mix?
Oh, I thought he was just saying that, like, oh, yeah.
Oh.
Not like,
I thought he...
Because I thought everyone knew that it was his kid.
Oh.
He said a child, how did that happen? Like, insinuating that, like, oh, look, they had sex. Like, don't you feel bad about yourself that he slept with someone else?
Oh, I see.
I saw the misogyny in that. That's what I kind of assumed it was.
Yeah, fair.
Duncan should have been pure,
Oh, God, yeah. That's the misogyny, yes.
No, but...
These male on male hate crimes have to stop.
God. That's bad. But yeah, so we get out of the elevator and Veronica lets Logan into his room. I don't remember. They like...
Yes, pretty much.
And they find Kendall in Duncan's shower.
Mm-hmm.
And she,
always showering.
And she is always showering.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, I guess that is a good way to be naked, but like...
Yeah.
You could just be naked.
True.
Just wear a robe.
True. I think we do get a lot of Kendall in a robe also, so I mean, I think she's got all the bases covered.
Yeah, but how is her hair never wet? What kind of shower cap does she use? Because mine always leaves lines on my forehead.
She wears a bodysuit. She doesn't actually get wet in the shower.
I have a panda bear shower cap.
Actually, she's got like the wetsuits with the hoods and the booties.
So she doesn't even get clean?
No. Showers only exist for sex appeal. So she stinks.
I get it. It makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
But so then Veronica's like pissed because, we find Kendall in the shower. And Duncan's not there. And she's like, where's Duncan? And Kendall's trying to be cagey and get under her skin and make her feel like she did something to Duncan.
Mm-hmm.
And...
She
canoodled with him, and Veronica's like, good Lord, and gets mad and leaves.
Mm-hmm.
And then Logan gets mad.
Yeah.
Because, he doesn't want to be needy,
mm-hmm.
and he doesn't want to be needed, but he likes to be needed.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And so he's all upset that he thinks Kendall might have also gotten with Duncan.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, I don't like this man.
No. You with me, but not with me, because I don't want to be with you, but you with me.
Uh-huh.
And roommate.
I own you, but I don't want you. But yeah, no, it's bullshit. So
this Logan cave.
Exactly. Logan mad.
Bangs his club.
But don't worry, after Duncan leaves, I believe he just keeps the same fucking room. So, like, we didn't want to build a second set.
No, what did they? Like, he's going to give that sweet up.
And now he gets the master with the shower.
Exactly. He's been on the pull-out couch.
Well, remember, it's that little tiny room to the back.
Yeah.
Weird shit, man. Why they didn't just have separate rooms, I don't fucking know.
It's only $100K.
And so Veronica confronts Duncan at school the next day or that day or whatever. We don't know. Time doesn't matter. And they have a very public fight that is very specifically positioned in front of a large group of people very loudly.
Yes, I got caught in the trap. Because not remembering it, I was like, this doesn't sound like Veronica at all. And I literally wrote it down. And then I was like, oh, right. It's not supposed to.
Yeah, and the fight feels very high school, which is very much not them, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because it's like Meg. Like,
yeah, like
I'm your girlfriend.
Yeah, I'm not dead. Like, I'm here.
Uh-huh.
Which I'm sure also did let her get out some of those feelings.
Yeah, totally.
Because that would be really fucking annoying.
Right. Oh, good job, Veronica. That was great acting. Yeah, acting.
Uh-huh. And so she goes, I'm your girlfriend. And then Duncan goes, not anymore. And everyone goes,
yeah.
Pearl clutch here.
Totally. Big peanut gallery.
Uh-huh. And then Veronica comes home and puts on loud, sad music in her CD player. But it's the kind where if you are not over the age of like 23, you might not remember this because these were a very specific point in time.
Yeah, so CDs were these like discs.
No, but the CD player, they were these fancy ones that like when you slid the CD in on its side, kind of like how you stuck them in the PlayStation. Like isn't the old PlayStation that way? Or is it the old Xbox?
You're talking about like upright?
Yeah.
You could have the PlayStation 2 like that, but you can also have it how we have like our PlayStation 4.
Got it.
You could do either.
So it's like you stick the CD in upright and then you push it back and it's quite fancy.
Mm-hmm.
CD players were very important in the early 2000s.
Absolutely. And I will, we should bring back boomboxes is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
CD player or cassette tape though? Because cassettes don't skip.
That is true. Maybe just cassettes.
I don't know why we ever moved to CD when cassette was right there.
Yeah, that's true. I think it can hold more. That's probably why.
But you can just turn the cassette around.
They're still making cassettes nowadays.
My grandmother loved cassettes. She's dead. I mean, she might still love them. I don't know. But we'd buy her favorite music, like Portuguese music or like old cassettes, and we'd like go into FYE and look in the cassette section for her. Or we'd take her. She went to the mall with us a lot.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. And she'd walk around the house with her little portable radio with her cassette, so she could do her ironing in the back and listen to it, or be cooking in the kitchen and listen to it. And we also would occasionally try to record radio stations with cassettes on that thing, and it never fucking worked.
No, I can figure out that.
Like I always did it, but it was always wrong.
So the Sam Goody in my mall was rightfully displaced by the FYE.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know what was there before the FYE in my mall. I feel like it was always there. I don't know if it's still there.
In our hearts. Oh, yeah. I bet the FYE is totally gone in the mall remodel. It was pretty run down.
But yeah, so Veronica puts on her pajamas. And I was like, I had those pajamas in high school.
Oh, nice.
They're lime green and blue, and they're like a plaidi pattern, and I wore them on the day they reinstated the rule about you not being allowed to wear your pajamas to school.
Stick it to the man.
I was taking a history final that day. I wore them
Hogwarts?
to a history final. No, it was not Hogwarts of history. It was U.S. history. No, world history. It might have been freshman year. I think it was freshman year, so world history.
Gotcha.
Do you know they changed that after my freshman year? It became geography instead of world history.
Oh, weird.
Yeah.
Why?
I think it's because they were like, oh shit, no one knows where anything is, and we keep attacking other countries and like the Middle East, and like nobody knows what's going on over there because we don't teach the kids in school.
Yeah, that's true. I'm awful at geography.
Yeah, me too.
I blame the schools.
Should we get a map and put it on the wall and we can practice?
Yeah, exactly. We got a fucking globe right there.
The globe that he is pointing at is literally about 6 inches tall.
Yeah, we need to get a magnifying glass.
But yeah, I thought that was interesting. But yeah, those are the geography thing, not my pajama
Your
pants.
pajamas.
My pajamas were interesting.
Yeah. She has good taste.
I didn't get a dress code violation for those, so they just were
Damn.
like, if you wear them again, you will. And I'm
Ruined your whole protest.
yeah, I was like, well, I guess I won't. Tomorrow I'll wear sweatpants instead.
You know what I was wearing?
What?
Shorts.
What I don't understand is they're like, you have to dress better because like when you get a real job or when you go to college, they're not going to let you dress like that. And I'm like, I went to class in college in a bathing suit with a t-shirt over it.
Right. And yeah, college, everybody dresses down.
Yeah, I'm paying a lot of fucking money to be here. I don't need to be uncomfortable.
No one cares.
And they're like, you perform better when you dress up. And I'm like, this isn't a tap routine. Like, we're good. But yeah, and then even in the professional world, like once I started getting like
joke's on them. No one can see you.
Corporate jobs, now that everyone works from home, and now that I work from home, top up, baby, top up. I can still wear my sweatpants.
I see. There's a lot of people in my company that are like dressing nice, and it's like, I think not for me.
Some people,
good for them.
Yeah, like their uniform helps them get in that mindset. Right. I like to think that like what I do and how I do it is a part of me as a greater person, so I don't need to look a specific way to perform a specific way. Does that make sense?
Agreed.
But I do realize that for some people, their image and how they appear is important. It's just not for me.
Not for me. Good for them.
Yeah, exactly.
Good for you.
Oh no.
Yeah, not like that.
So then, our lovely father dearest comes into the room and he's like, honey, you remember I'm a detective and a pretty good one? She's like, Duncan and I broke up. And he's like, can I do anything? He's like, I figured that much out. Like, can I do anything? And she's like, I just need time. And I'm like, what the like, once again, so non-Veronica. I'm like, how good of a detective are you, sir?
Right, exactly. Can you read between these lines?
And then we got to the bathroom.
Yes.
Where Weevil and Logan are meeting.
And it's
Hector and Bootsy.
Yes. And I was like, I immediately turned to you. I'm like, my money's it's on Bootsy. And then no, damn it, I feel bad. I thought I
profiled Bootsy.
I did.
Based on name.
Yeah.
So basically Logan and Weevil are meeting to discuss who stabbed Felix, and they think it was either Hector or Bootsy, because they're the last two of the guys that were on the bridge when Logan was attacked that were conscious, because Weevil and Logan were not.
Yes.
It's kind of like the only plot point they wrote in this show was like, someone blacks out, we have to fix the memories.
Damn, that's such an annoying fucking trope.
Yeah.
I just played through an entire game that's like that, and it's like, ugh.
And it makes me anxious always.
It does.
I'm like, what if I forget something? Like, right. I don't remember a lot of things from my past because, so it's
time.
26 years of it or 27 years of it. So, but like every now and then I'm like, what if I did something bad and I don't remember? That's called intrusive thoughts.
Fun.
But it's just, I'm like, things like this always trigger that. I'm like, huh.
Right. No, but these people were literally beat.
Yeah, they were beat to a blackout.
But yeah, it was in the game I just played. It was just like, I don't remember anything from 6 years ago. And then there's like a ton of different things that are like, this happened 6 years ago. And it's like, I wonder if it's related.
Yeah. I like to think that I just forgot a lot of my memories when I tried a couple of different anti-anxiety medications and they just zapped all my brain cells. No, that was not good for me. My brain did not respond well to that.
No, you did not have a great time.
No, but I studied for my Spanish final for like 3 days straight.
That you did.
Still can't speak Spanish. But anyway, enough about my small trip down Mania Lane. Veronica's wallowing on her floor, and our boy Wallace comes in.
Yes. Cheers from the stands.
And he's like, hey, you gotta get up. We gotta do things. I know you're sad, but you gotta get it together. This is just sad. And he's like, and shower. Please shower. And she's like, you think you're helping, but you're not.
She says, smiling.
And so he's sitting there with her, and then there's a knock at the door. And it's Detective Poopy Head Lamb, as I wrote. Don't know why. I was in a mood.
I mean, he is a poopy head.
He comes in and he's like, Duncan is missing, and we're arresting you as an accessory because he stole the baby.
Mm-hmm.
And so you're an accessory to kidnapping.
Right.
Which I'm like, cool.
Great. Thanks, Lamb. Just trying to find something to throw the book at her.
And so then she goes with Lamb. She goes to I almost said the doctor. She goes to the sheriff's department.
Takes her by the doctor real quick. All good, all healthy. I'll put in your prescription to the pharmacy.
And then she's pregnant. But
I'm late, Lamb.
oh God. Some weird fan fiction about the two of them.
Yep, I didn't admit. I didn't realize how that comes off. Like she's not that she's like telling him like we need to go to the doctor because I'm late. Not that like it was his.
That's not really how you tell people that.
Never been pregnant.
Really, I couldn't tell.
Yeah. Just with all these great thoughts.
Yeah, you're pregnant with ideas.
Uh-huh.
Fertile myrtle. But so
that's what my classmates call me.
So they take her to the sheriff's department, and they're like, "Why'd you sell this necklace? It was Mrs. Kane's." And she's like, "Well, Duncan asked me to sell it, but it was to fund legal fees so he could adopt the baby." And they're like, "Well, did you know it was Celeste?" And she's like, "I didn't ask." You know, because Duncan gave me jewelry, and I said, "Yeah, let me go sell this for you."
Right.
So
this is Keith and
what's his name?
No, I do this. Cliff.
That she's unexplaining to, because Keith is very mad. He's like, "Well, did you help, and why? And I want to make sure that you are not an accessory to this, and you didn't do this, right?" And she's like, "No, Dad, I didn't do this."
I'll never tell.
Oh my God. XOXO. Gossip Girl. I need to get back into that, but it's a dark hole. And so
Entourage.
I would go out on a limb here and say that I bet Gossip Girl is a better show than Entourage.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying.
Oh.
It can always be darker.
Got it. I thought you were saying like, see, it's your Entourage.
Oh, no, I meant that was just suggestions for shows. Start at the top.
You're gonna watch the worst shows in the history of television.
You're gonna love the misogyny.
Oh God, there's enough of that and everything. So then Lamb's like, calls her into his office to talk to him and Celeste and our favorite private eye, Vinny.
Oh yes, love me a Vincent Van Lowe.
Mm-hmm. He is working for Celeste because she wants to make sure that Duncan is found. Lamb is like, "I encourage you not to hire a private detective. They slow down the police department."
Mm-hmm.
And then Vinny, of course, just, harasses Veronica.
Right. And then what does Veronica say to Celeste? It's like, how does it feel to be like, instead knowing how incompetent Lamb is instead of just betting on it?
Yeah.
And it's like, oh yeah.
Or like hoping he's more competent than he's incompetent. It was something like that. Like hoping he's competent versus like betting on him being incompetent.
Right. It's like knowing this time that he is incompetent rather than betting that alluding to like him buying their cover up for like Duncan.
Yep. So Lamb was like, so they leave the room, Celeste and Vinny. And Lamb is like, here's a notepad. Write down everything you know. You know what I'm looking for. Which I'm like, I don't know what he's looking for. About, but I guess when you work as a PI, you might. And he's like, and if you leave anything out, I will put you in prison as an accessory. And then we flash over to our hotel room that is missing Duncan, but don't worry, we filled it with another white boy.
Yes.
We have filled it with Dick.
Yep. Oh, Rich.
Dick Casablancas.
Richard.
And so Logan and Weevil had decided that they needed to have someone try to buy ecstasy from either Bootsy or Hector. Page turn.
Hey, we got Bootsy down.
And Logan's like, "Ooh, I'll have Dick do it because he's dumb."
Yep.
And so he literally has a conversation with Dick where he's like, hey, can you try to buy some E from PCHers? And he's like, yeah. He's like, whatever, man. And so he agrees to do it. No questions, no nothing. Just, he's like, whatever.
They're playing some Dead or Alive beach volleyball, so,
Yeah, they're playing a video game.
Mm-hmm.
And Logan's like, you're not very complicated, are you, Dick? And he's like, nope, but try not to be. And I'm like,
nope.
Yep. And so then Veronica's leaving Lamb's office. She's written everything she could think of down. And she meets Vinny in the hall. And he's like, can you just tell me where Duncan is? I know you know. And she's like, I don't know.
Yeah.
And he says some inappropriate things to her. But I mean, she is 18, but it's still inappropriate and it's weird. Mm-hmm. And then he tries to bug her by dropping a pin in her bag, but she catches it and hands it back to him.
Mm-hmm. Thought his patriotism joke was quite good.
He made a patriotism joke?
Yeah, because she's like, you're the last person I'd tell.
Oh, and he's like, yeah, even Osama bin Laden's out there. Like,
right. Then back in my day, we had some patriotism.
It is true.
Ken Marino, just great comedic actor.
He's a great character. And so then they go to school. We go back to school. We go back to school.
Back to school.
And Veronica's in computer class doing the search engine Olympics.
I love it. It's the most dated thing ever. But so did you ever do this sort of thing?
Where you had to like find things as quickly as possible or like figure out how to use computers and build websites and shit?
Yeah, it was, but specifically like search engine where you'd have to try and get to a page in the lowest amount of clicks possible.
No.
Yeah.
No one gave a fuck. They were just like, we did this.
We made games.
We did like typing games where it's like, can you type correctly?
This wasn't a teacher sanctioned thing is what I was getting at.
Oh.
Yeah, no. Much sadder. Gotta fill time.
What time?
Class time.
Oh. You didn't just like go to you remember the website that had all the games?
Yeah, sometimes those would be blocked.
Oh, no.
So they eventually like started catching on, and then when they get caught on, they would get blocked, and then until you could figure out what blockers to get through, you did stupid things like that.
Oh no, they always left access to the ones that didn't have inappropriate content in the ads.
Oh, that's lucky. There was something clips. Oh man.
Yeah, like mini clips or something like that.
Yep, there you go.
Yep.
All the Flash videos too.
Thoroughly loved that.
Mm-hmm. Kill Frog.
But so everyone in the class is supposed to be looking for a number of rebounds. I don't know, some sports related thing.
School basketball.
And so Veronica's like, yeah, well, everyone else is looking up like Neptune Pirates. I look up Wallace Fresnel.
Mm-hmm.
And click through there. And then she's like, wait a minute, his last scores. And she's like, these are at his school in Chicago, which doesn't make any sense because he said that he came back because he couldn't play basketball because he missed tryouts. So Wallace lied to our junior detective, his best friend, Veronica.
What you covering up, Wallace? What are you covering up?
And so she's like, this is suspicious. But then we jump back over to Sheriff Lamb's office.
I believe it is
Yeah, and he's like, close the borders. We need to search every car. Keep doing it. And they're like, this is taking us a lot of time, but it's a child abduction case, so you can do things like that. So then the FBI shows up.
Oh, yeah.
And it is Xena, warrior princess, and another man.
Yep, some man.
I don't know him from anything else.
No, I don't believe, don't believe we know.
They're like, hey, Lamb, if you annoy us and get in our way, we will kick you out of this entire investigation, and you will not be allowed to be in the photo op at the end. Which I'm like, I love.
Yes, completely emasculating him.
And then Veronica shows up, and she's like, hey, I need to talk to Lamb. And he's like, hey, the guy at the front desk, the sheriff deputy or whichever police officer has taken Leo's spot at the front desk, it's like, hey, he's in there with the FBI, but like, you know, you can wait, and just so you know, we're supposed to be watching you. So she's like, I'm gonna sit down right here. I'll make it real easy for you. And he's like, and just so you know, like, if you want to go party in LA, I'm a bouncer at
Right.
one of the bars. I can get you in.
Solid. Great man to have at the front desk.
And he's like, yeah, like, you know, and she's like, oh, thanks. Like, I'll save that. I'm like, what a weird interaction.
Right.
And then Lamb's talking to the FBI, and he's like, hey, I might apply to the FBI someday. Like, I was thinking about it. You know, like, I'm a big fish in a small pond here.
Right.
And then Xena's like, hey, do you have any degrees? Do you have any expertise? Are you good at computers? Are you not a racist? And he could not answer any of those.
Nope.
So she's like,
fails across the board.
Yeah, I would stay, you know, big fish, small pond.
Yeah. Stay here.
Mm-hmm.
We don't need you in Langley.
Mm-hmm. Meanwhile, back at Neptune High, we have our lovely friend Dick Casablancas approach us, and he's like, "Hey, man, I got drugs from this one PCHer, and the other one didn't have any, but this one did, and he charged me double."
Yeah, I got the Own-Rider discount. Charge me double.
And so it was Hector, not Bootsy.
I know. So I wrote down, I'm like, damn, Bootsy was clean.
Bootsy was clean. Mm-hmm. And so Logan writes it down, puts it in a little like container, and then passes it off to Weevil.
I think it was already in the container. He just wrote on the container.
Yeah.
And then they bump into each other in the hall.
So he can put it in his pocket.
Exactly. Love I was, again, the parallels between other things I'm watching. I'm watching a show where this literally happens.
That's so funny.
I know.
And Weevil confronts Hector.
Yes.
And he's like, Hector, you selling drugs? And he's like, no, I'm not. And he's like, well, so what if I am? Like, blah, blah, blah. And so then it's like, oh, shit. Who's in bed with the Fitzpatricks? And he's like, I wouldn't sell for them, blah, blah, blah.
Right.
And we're like, this is all very weird and confusing.
Just trying to make some extra money.
Yeah. And I'm like, okay.
I'm an enterprising young man.
Yes, exactly. So I'm an entrepreneur, if you will.
Yes.
Street side pharmaceuticals.
Yeah.
And so then we go back to the sheriff's department. And
Veronica
Veronica goes in the room, and with the FBI and Lamb, they come in.
Right.
She was sitting in a room. And before they come in, Lamb's like, you need to watch this one. She's wily. And they're like, ha, ha, ha.
Right.
Whatever.
Like, I think we got it.
Yeah. Like, oh, no. And then they walk in, and it's just, you know, it's a tiny 18-year-old girl, and they're like calling backup. And they're like, hey, what do you know about... She came in because she remembered that things might be on his .mac account, which was the cloud before the cloud.
Right. As I wrote down, brought to you by .mac.
I know, right?
It was like, look at all these things he can do.
Right. He backed up his whole computer on his .mac. All 4,000 files.
Right.
And then they're like, does Duncan like sailing? Because we got a hit that a boat was bought in cash by a kid. And she's like, Duncan's always sailed. He sailed since he was a little kid.
We know that from earlier episodes where he's commiserating with the stocks teacher, whatever his name was.
Yeah, because he was like, oh, isn't that a boat?
Yep. I'm in the same. I couldn't pull it.
I couldn't even come up with a fake
catamaran.
Is that a thing?
I don't know.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Skipper.
The SS.
Lily Kane.
Yeah. Oh, it's dark over here. Yeah.
Wouldn't be surprised.
And so then, yeah, she gives them all the information she has. We find out that the password to everything that he has was Meg's name backwards.
Ecan Gem.
Ecan Gem. And
or Enoch.
Enoch Gem. Because it's Meg Kane, right?
Yeah.
And so then
just weird if he had actually created it though.
Yeah, and
Veronica's like, your password's what?
And it's like, oh, let's really fuck with her. Also, like, what a wildly insecure password to like have it just be like a word backwards. especially like a word of a person. Never mind.
Right.
Whatever.
Right.
Hey,
Can't wait till she takes my last name.
Just a reminder out there: change your passwords every now and then.
Yeah, change your passwords. How long has it been?
Yeah.
Do an audit.
And then Veronica sees Vinny watching her at her house. Is that our next scene?
Yes. He is in his van outside of Veronica's house, and she opens up the door, and he's just sitting there in like a recliner inside the van.
And she's like, "You're supposed to be looking for Duncan." And he's like, "I'm just watching you because, he's going to come back here."
Mm-hmm. And so she hands him a note. It's like, oh, so if you see Duncan, why don't you like hand this to him? And it's like, says like to like Duncan, like secret or something.
Yeah, top secret, confidential.
Right. And Vinny. Vincent.
Sounds like he peed on the carpet.
Exactly. I had to rub his nose in it. Opens it up, of course, because he's nosy, and then smiles to himself.
Mm-hmm.
What could it be?
I don't know. Maybe a secret message.
Yeah, secret. Vinny sucks.
Yeah, it's just Vinny's a poo-poo head.
Vinny, don't open this.
Yeah. It's written in invisible ink, and you don't have the thing to see it. A decoder.
Yeah.
We should start leaving notes for each other on the house in invisible ink. We should get invisible ink pins.
All right, and then I'll tell you have to steam up the bathroom and get the message on the mirror.
Oh, God, that sounds scary.
Yeah, I guess it's a little over the top, huh? I wouldn't do that.
We also don't have any good way to de-steam the bathroom. We don't have any windows in there.
No.
Who puts a bathroom in the middle with no windows? I'm sorry. The strangest thing
You've
about
been holding on to this one for a while.
Yeah. Because I want to get plants for our bathroom and nothing grows in the dark.
Mushrooms, maybe?
I don't think so. Not ones you want in the house.
Oh, okay.
You have a bathroom full of
Mold.
mushrooms. Mold. But okay. So, then, Weevil confronts, so Weevil, when he was talking to his boys, they were like, yeah, like it's this one white kid who we buy our drugs from. We buy the drugs from an 09er and then we sell them to 09ers at a higher price.
Uh-huh.
And so he interrogates this kid in the bathroom because he finds out who it is. And it's the same kid who cheated at poker.
Yep.
What's his name?
I looked it up, Sean.
Thank you.
Because I also didn't, remember watching the episode.
I wrote down, who's the white boy who cheated at poker?
Yep.
He's a supplier.
Who the hell are you?
And he's like, nah, I don't fuck with the Fitzpatricks. And Logan was hiding in the stall while this happened. And he's like, I believe him. Do you?
Mm-hmm.
So we're like, shit. And he's like, well, maybe your boy Felix was the one in bed with the Fitzpatricks.
Yeah.
And he was like, nah, Felix wouldn't have done that because his big brother Reaper was my predecessor as leader of the PCHers.
Yes.
And he went missing because of the Fitzpatricks. He's like, so no, like it's not.
Wouldn't be that.
He would
Reaper.
never.
That's intense.
Yeah. Wasn't it because his last name was
Toombs. Mm-hmm.
And so.
But Felix is Felix.
Yeah, just Felix is just Felix.
Mm-hmm.
So we leave that at like a wonder what's happening then. We're really in a box here. And then we go back over to the outdoor lunch tables because there's no indoor dining at at Neptune High.
No,
I guess there's no rainy days. Does it never rain?
It does, but not often.
So Veronica confronts Wallace and she's like, hey.
With this, I went to Staples and I got this binder put together.
She
this
put the
clear
little
laminated sheet.
The little covers like you used to turn in reports.
Yeah, exactly.
Like
she spent some money getting this together to go to Wallace, huh?
And she's like, hey, it looks like you were having a really good season over in Chicago at a school where you would have been really easily scouted. It's really interesting. Like, why'd you come back then?
Mm-hmm.
Which I would have just been like, oh, you missed me.
Right. She got pride, though.
Yeah. But he's like, well, what really happened is I went to this party and Richard, this star player on my team, was driving me and some friends
next LeBron
home from a party. And he had a drink, but he thought he was good to drive. And they hit a wino, as he said. And so then when it happened, and he didn't turn himself in, Wallace ran away. And Veronica's like, why didn't you tell me? And he's like, because you wouldn't have left. You would have done the right thing. And it's like, you could do the right thing, Wallace.
Yeah, exactly.
We believe in you.
I didn't know what a wino was until a Bill Cosby stand-up record.
Really?
Uh-huh. I'd never heard the term.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like it was always part of my vernacular.
Well, more advanced than I.
But it's a different side of the tracks kind of lifestyle.
It's true.
But yeah, so then Veronica gets a phone call.
Yeah.
She goes to answer it.
Uh-huh.
And it's Duncan from Big Bear. And he's calling her to be like, check in, I guess. And she's like, they think I helped you, like, blah, 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 and he just hangs up on her. It's a really kind of, it's even awkwardly timed, which I think is helpful for her case.
Totally.
Because, I think she kind of stumbles over it. Which
it's like they're talking over each other, kind of like in the heat of the moment.
But then she comes home.
Yeah. So the FBI is tracking her calls, and they're like, "Oh, we figured it out. He's in Big Bear.
Yeah, we'll go
2
find
hours
him."
from here."
And Sheriff Lamb's like, "I'll come with you," and they're like, "No, thank you. Please don't. We got this. We can handle a teenage boy."
Yeah, we really don't want you around. Stay. Stay.
And so then Veronica comes home from school, and instead of going into her house, she looks around all sketch, kind of like the time Duncan was pulling the note out of Meg's vent.
Mm-hmm.
And then she goes over to the door to the apartment next door.
We get a dramatic zoom.
We zoom in, and she unlocks it, and she goes inside, and Duncan's there.
Yep.
Duncan's there.
With a baby.
That's
his, but not.
Yes, that he wasn't supposed to have. A stolen baby.
Mm-hmm. Very quiet baby, I must assume.
Very well-behaved baby. Well, that's why she was playing the music loud.
Oh,
was
right.
to cover up the sound of the baby cries.
Yeah.
She kisses him, and then she's like, hey, they bought everything. I think even Kendall bought it. Everyone's bought every little piece of this plan. So you should be good to go. We need to move you before, anything else happens. And, he's like, Veronica, wait, stop. He's like, I love you, and I always have, and I always will. And she's like, well, you better, because I'm literally risking being an accessory to a kidnapping.
Oh, yeah.
But, she doesn't say it like that.
Mm-hmm.
And so they pack him up, and he runs away.
Yep. He says, adios.
And then Veronica's card.
I've always loved you.
Gets a hit in Mexico.
Mm-hmm.
And Sheriff Lamb was like, see, I told you he was headed to Mexico.
Yep. And they'll see what happens when this high school educated local lawman gets all the credit.
Exactly. So he drives down to the border in his little police car.
Yep. Beep, beep.
And he drives around and he goes into a couple different places and he asks about Duncan, if anyone's seen him. And no one's seen him. And he asks multiple people. And then he starts to drive back. He went to different locations. And he notices his trunk's open.
What could happen there?
At the same time, Veronica's dad is like, do you know anything? Oh no, he goes into her room
Keith.
He goes into her room to get toilet paper.
Yes, in the bath. And it's not in the bathroom, it's in the room, it's in a closet.
Yeah, it's in a closet off her bathroom because they both have a bathroom.
Yes, I guess so.
It's
pretty nice.
And he finds diapers and a hole in the wall to open to the next door neighbor.
Mm-hmm.
And so we get a cut scene, and then we get him looking through the papers on her desk. And then she comes home. He calls her, and he's like, hey, I need to talk to you.
Yep.
Doesn't leave anything incriminating, though. And then she comes home, and Dad is hurt because, Keith is like, hey, how could I ever trust you again? And she's like, I had to. And then there's
it's the only I'm disappointed, not mad speech. That really works.
Mm-hmm. And then there's a knock at the door, and the FBI is there, and they're like, we have a warrant to search your property, Keith Mars, because we went to Big Bear, and we found a tape recorder of Duncan's voice.
Mm-hmm.
And so they're searching through the house, and Keith is like, hasn't my daughter been through enough? Like, he's still defending her because he's a good dad, and he's like, he's a good man, and also like he doesn't want his child to go to jail.
Totally.
And because he's already broken down and cried and said that if he loses her, he would lose his mind.
Yeah. I understand.
Yeah. So they're searching through the house, and once someone opens the little side thing where there'd been the hole in the wall, and it looks like Keith had covered it.
Yeah. Smooth moves.
Yep. So Dad was like, "Hey, cover your tracks." The FBI detective Xena was like, "Hey, it's really hard to have a conversation with a tape recorder if it's not rehearsed." And Keith is like, "Oh, honey, they got you."
Right.
Like, and so then they're like, "You're cool, Mr. Mars, but
you Mars are cool."
Yeah, but not too cool.
I put they're the coolest. Literally.
What's cooler than being cool?
Mars.
Oh, okay. That's not
definitively answered.
Pluto.
Yeah, exactly.
Pluto's the coldest planet, right?
Yes, it is.
Well, it's a dwarf planet because he's farthest away from the sun.
Pluto is the coldest planet.
So they don't find anything, obviously. So they leave. And then we go to Weevil's tattoo appointment.
We do.
Weevil's getting a tattoo.
Uh-huh.
And
tattoo.
His artist is like, "Oh yeah, your buddy Felix was gonna get this tattoo, and then obviously he died, so he didn't do it, and so he hands Weevil the tattoo, and there's a girl on it. It's him and a girl, and he's like, who is the girl that he put in there? And Weevil's like, her name's Molly Fitzpatrick.
Yeah, and it's a series of photo booth photos,
and it's a disappointed look.
Uh-huh.
Weevil's upset.
He was in the bed with Fitzpatrick's. Romeo and Juliet.
Yeah, if you will. So then we go back to Mexico.
First, Wallace is heading to his car.
Oh,
Gets greeted by a local tough in leather in California, so he's probably sweating.
Yeah, good God. They don't have indoor lunch tables.
Sunscreen up, kids. And he is questioning Weevil about what happened in Chicago because he's Wallace, not Weevil. Thank you. My W's. And is like, yeah, so, I heard that you guys were out partying and like they found like a dead homeless man like run over, and it's just like, what are you trying to get?
Eyewitnesses say that it was a red Hummer with 20-inch rims or whatever the fuck it was.
Yeah, it's like, how many of those there are? Not
Chicago,
that many.
Not that many.
That's pretty much just like, so one of it's like, what are you asking me? It's just like, I'm asking you, are you a good person?
Mm-hmm. You gonna rat some shit out.
Yep.
That's what I say. Yep. So then we find out, we come back to Mexico, and there's this man in a wig and a beard and a sombrero, and he pulls it off, and you realize it's Duncan.
Yes, it's hilarious disguises.
In a car with Vinny, who is driving a truck, and the Kane family assistant who is holding the baby.
Yes, I'm glad you knew who that was.
I
was like, I have no idea who this person is.
The child that we thought was the adopted child and then wasn't.
Right.
And Duncan, and they're all in the car together with the baby, and she's like, "Are you ready to go back to your daddy?" And then he takes her, and he's like, "Lily," and so we find out that he named his baby after his dead sister,
Lily number 2.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be Duncan if he wasn't surrounded by a blonde woman.
Mm-hmm. And she's like, "Yeah." He's like, "I bet she thinks you're Veronica because you're blonde," and she's like, "Well, so do the police department."
Yeah.
And so that's all funny and fun, and they drive off into the sunset, and then we cut to Veronica in her room, and she's got a fortune from a fortune cookie that says, "True love stories never end."
And pins it on the wall.
And puts it on the wall. And then she goes outside and she stares at the ocean sad.
Yeah.
That's it.
Goodbye. Yep. And there goes Duncan.
There goes Duncan. Bye, Duncan.
Yep, bye. Adios.
This is probably my favorite episode about Duncan because he's not really in it.
Yep. And when he's in it, he's fun.
Yeah.
He's got his hat, and he's got fake beard and mustache and glasses.
Doing shit.
Yeah.
And he's not being sneaky at Veronica. He's being sneaky with Veronica.
Yep.
And he's all like, I love you. And it's like, well, you should have thought of that before you slept with Meg.
Yeah. He's like, I'll always love you.
And it's like, well, that doesn't do us any fucking good.
Okay, why don't you just get to Mexico?
Also, like, well, but we don't ever get to talk to each other again.
No. So, thanks, bud.
Yeah.
I don't care how romantic you think this is.
Shake his hand.
Right, exactly. And good day to you.
It's a total me move. I'm like, goodbye. I never understand. You know how like people break up and then they're like, and one last kiss. And it's like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
It's
I don't
weird.
know if that's a thing.
That's
Other
weird.
than movies.
No, but it's happened to many people in my life.
Oh, interesting.
Every time Samantha's been broken up with, they've tried to kiss her again.
Oh, boy.
Yeah.
Not a good look.
No. Well, for them.
Right.
For her, it's like, yeah, I guess so.
Right, that's what I mean. I'm
Weak.
not, no judge on her.
Yeah. It's like she's a Libra, just trying to give love. But yeah, weird shit, man. It's like
Indeed.
It's like Romeo and Juliet in the sense that like romance has to be tragic.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what if like romance was just like nice?
Uh-huh. Yep.
Like, what if you just had like a nice relationship?
Yeah.
What if things were good?
It is good.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Fancy that. But yeah, I don't get where that ever came from. It's really annoying.
Me neither. And it annoys me because it makes people think that it's okay to treat people like shit.
True.
And I took a lot of shit as a younger person because I thought that it was okay because that's what love was.
Right.
And it's like, no, love is not dramatic. Love is, will you bring me the Cheez-Its from the pantry? Oh, you already brought them because you knew I'd want them?
Mm-hmm. Exactly. I want to know what love is. I want you to show me.
My love language is, you like to receive verbal affirmations. So
I
can
do.
I just tell you instead?
Yes.
Okay.
I want you to tell me.
I was like, I guess I can show you.
Yeah.
I'll write it.
Please. Text it to me.
I just get like a whiteboard.
Yes. Uh-huh.
Oh, that's cute. Should order white erase markers and I could write on the mirrors in the bathroom and then you could leave your steam ones
There
and
you
then
go.
we could have our creepy messages.
Or you can use the sign and you have to spell out different affirmations for me every day.
Oh God.
Yeah, that'd take way too long
That
to find
takes-
all the letters.
I don't know when. I guess I'll be up till 3 a.m.
Well, you know, whatever it takes.
Whatever it takes to make you happy. You do make me coffee in the morning, so it's definitely
Yes,
worth not
exactly.
sleeping.
Yep, there's the it evens out.
Yeah. Cool. Well, plugs.
Plugs.
You can find me at butreallythough.com.
You?
Me. I am a life and career coach. I help people identify what they want. I help people change their careers. I help people figure out what they want to be doing with their life. I help people just get their shit together and get organized. Sometimes I'm just there to like be a little sounding board, help you figure it out, and then maybe offer you some tips on how to make things flow a little easier for you. I'm here for the mindset shit, all the fun stuff. You can also find free coaching content at butreallythough.com/blog or by going to butreallythough and then clicking on the little blog option. You can also find content on YouTube at butreallythough, and you can find me on Instagram at butreallythough, but spelled BTRLYTHO. And for the website and everything else, though is spelled THO. We don't use UGH here. It's too much.
Couldn't afford it.
Nope. We only could buy one vowel.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And but really, thou looked really dumb.
Damn you, Pat. We also do another podcast called But Really Though.
Huh, weird.
Yep. We're the
It's a
urban legends, conspiracy theory, secret history, government history, black history, all kinds of fun things like that.
shit we didn't learn in history class, and then
Yep.
like shit that's really interesting.
Obfuscated truths.
Ooh, that's a big word.
Thank you. I stumbled getting it out the first time.
I was the English major. I'm proud of you.
Thank
You
you.
have a better vocabulary though.
I had to know about that. But you can find me, actually, when I'm not down in Baja with my good buddy Ted, on Twitter at Pilebread, Pyle, and then you can also find this podcast on Twitter and Facebook at Mars Rewatch.
Oh, like that's awful.
Thank you.
God, what a mess. Yeah, I'll just be in Logan's hotel room because someone's got to occupy it at all times.
Exactly. There's a one in, one out policy.
But yeah, cool. Well, stay toasted, marshmallows.